So, cryptids are all the rage, it seems, anymore. I've seen tons of role playing games, supplements, and actual games about cryptids, playing cryptids, and stuff like that. So, Dark Places and Demogorgons has a cryptid manual, and that's what this video is going to be about. Of course, I've done a video on Dark Places and Demogorgons. I think it's really cool. This is also got a hardcover to it. It goes really well with the main book, as you can see here. It's 73 pages. Of course, I'll have a link in the description if you want to pick it up. I like the different color here for it says 1980s retro role-playing game, and the cover looks cool, and that's how it looks on the back. There is some repeat art in it from the core book, but other than that, a couple pieces here and there, it's got all new art to it, and it has a little bit of a different layout than the core book as well. So it fashions itself as kind of like files from the FBI. I think that's a good way to go. It takes itself a little bit seriously there, and I like that. Little sticky notes here. It says, Alex, this is the copy archived at Quantico, found in evidence locker from M. Is that Mulder? Could be. I would like to think it is. It's got some blood splatters here and there, so it's got a cool little vibe to it. It's a little bit of history here from a man by the name of Joel Harrison Hope, telling you about his look into cryptozoology. It's a neat little read. I highly recommend you read it before you start the book. There's some cool stuff like this, like Pope Lick Monster, Patient, Drawing, Western State, Sanitarium. So that's neat. And then some stuff's redacted here on the chain of custody for the people who helped make it. And then our table of contents, I would have liked for all these cryptids to have the page numbers. That would have been helpful. It is in alphabetical order, so it's fairly easy to find a cryptid when you're searching through it, so that's not too hard to do, but it would have been nice to have the page numbers. So you can see you get a fair bit of cryptids here. Many Bigfoots, many ETs. Obviously, there's different types, so they're all going to be looked into. There's some of that repeat art, not a big deal. Let's go to this page here because I like Bigfoots a lot. And so one thing it's got really going for it that's good is these kind of interviews with people or their statements about something, a sentence or two, and it just gives that creature, that cryptid, a bit of placement in our world. Now, not everything goes what was discussing here with Jeffersontown. Some of them kind of do, but most of them are kind of just somewhere else in the world, kind of setting them where they are. And so it's got stuff like this, the Piedmont murders. Now we've got this art. So one thing I like about this art is this, and you can see it here as well. This is actually probably a good picture of it. So I like the fact that it's not super detailed. It's like someone just kind of sketched it out very quickly and hastily. And it makes me think that somebody didn't get a good view of something. Like they saw this Bigfoot, this Sasquatch. They didn't get a great view of it. So it kind of represents that kind of missing pieces of information that they got. Like this thing here is not fully detailed, and I think it works well with it. I like the blood. Once again, here's your stat blocks, your sentence. It's got sometimes just a sentence or two telling you actually about it, and it's not meant to be some big deep book full of information about these things. Just something that you can use, base an adventure on one of these creatures, maybe throw them in there. You've got their abilities. I like this. It's not just a perfect rectangle background there for the stats. I think that looks good. I really enjoy the layout. It's a little different than the main book, and I enjoy it. I think it's a really good one here. So, bunch of different Bigfoots there. That's interesting. Here's some undead children. Again, you can see some like graffiti there in blood. Some of them are on 2 pages, so that's interesting. And like I said, a lot of the art is the same. So you've got Chupacabra here, and that is in the core book, but in the main book, it's going to kind of reference it into being in Jeffersontown. It does have this paragraph here, but then it has another paragraph letting you know what's going on with the Chupacabra in Jeffersontown. So you've got to have some of these creatures in there. So yes, there's going to be some repeats. There's not a whole bunch. I believe I counted 6 total, but they're not 100% the same in what they say here. And of course, you've got this neat little sentence here from this farmer who, of course, does not like the goat sucker. Crocoducks, very interesting, a duck with a crocodile head. And it says, for some odd reason, they are easily attracted to and distracted by bananas, so keep your pockets full of those. But I like and again, another one of the sticky notes here. Here's the king otter. That's very interesting, the dogman of the North Woods. Some neat names, some neat creatures. I like the Flatwood Monster. Of course, I've played Fallout 76, and the Flatwood Monster's in there, so that was one in particular that I like to read about. So that's pretty neat. You've got your grays, aka the probers, little green men. These are also going to be in the core book as well. Here's the Nordic ETs that look like they're from a Nordic country. They can kind of shapeshift. Here's reptilian ones. So this is interesting. If you want to do V, which was a very popular TV show when I was a kid and watched it. I remember it was a big deal when it came on. They did a great marketing push for it, and we all pretty much tuned in and enjoyed V a lot. So if you wanted to do V, you could, and it's fun. It's got some people from the time in the 80s that they're pretty much telling you they're part of these reptilian ETs. That's cool. You've got fairies. You've got a color wave effect that you roll up. A couple random tables here and there. There's a gargoyle. I won't say some of these names because I'll probably brutalize them. Gremlins. This is also going to be the same as in the core book with the different multiply triggers and weaknesses. And it's neat to kind of make your own gremlins, not exactly the ones from the movie, so that's cool. Hellhound, the Hodag. Here's the Jersey Devil. That one's well known. Of course, there's many in here that I'm aware of, so it's cool to see those kind of statted out. Here's a lake monster. This one is... again, another one of those ones where the stats and stuff are the same, a little bit different on the abilities here as in the core book, and of course it references that monster as in Jeffersontown. So I like that. Here's Lizard Man, and I actually live in a state, South Carolina, where we had our cryptid was the Lizard Man. So that's kind of neat. I like that. Again, some cool art here and there. Here's Medusa. Always love Medusa. You've got a specialty for her. She can be a basic Medusa, wild Medusa, warrior Medusa, or of course from the movie Clash of the Titans, which was a big influence on me, the Archer Medusa. Or she can be a sorceress. So very cool to have her stats in there. I like that a lot. Let's see. We got some other. There's the Mongolian Deathworm. Here's the Mothman Eastern. And so it has, which I think is kind of a neat thing. So it's got the write-up for the Mothman. In the core book, you've got Son of Mothman. And the only thing I could tell different is that Son of Mothman doesn't have as many hit dice as the normal Mothman. So I don't know if that was intentional, but I picked up on it because I was double checking it, and I think that's pretty neat. As the little Mothman doesn't have as many stats. Here is a cool one there. Here is a tree that pretty much can communicate with you, and it's a very neat tree, of course, so that's interesting. It's there. Here's the Pope-Lick monster that, of course, is well known with Jeffersontown, and we've got it fully statted up there. But in the main book, it's a huge section telling you more about it. Again, how it fits in with Jeffersontown, and you've got the same origins of the Goatman as well. Psy-Rat's pretty nasty. Here's a rock. Rougarou. Now, the Rougarou is actually an interesting one here because they actually give you more information here than in the core book. It tells you pretty much to look up the lycanthrope abilities from Old School Essentials, but this tells you like don't use infection or summoning animals. It's different. It's a little bit different here. Stats are the same, but I like the fact that it went a little bit deeper with its abilities. Here's the Sheep Squatch again, Fallout 76, and that's in there as well. And then Skinwalker, always a good one. We've got the Thunderbird, the Trash Cat. This is a cat that is made out of trash. It says, sometimes they are ill or hurt cats that have been given a second life. They live amongst garbage dumps and junkyards appearing to be constructed of various bits of trash and random electronic parts. And it's neat, they have 9 lives. In order to bring a cat back, it has to use one of its lives, so it has 8 lives left, pretty much. So this is a very neat, interesting creature that I'm certain my buddy David Beatty would like to come across if he played this game. Here's stats for Unicorn. I like how they really say that it's super rare and cool, so that's really nice. Here is the Wandering Witch of Crenshaw. Now, I'm not exactly aware of this. I haven't looked into this, if this is something that's actual historical like myth or legend. But neat. Obviously, to have a witch like that in the game, I like that a lot. And then here's your Wendigo Spirit Monster. Great piece of art there for it. Not exactly the same as the Wendigo Shaman that's in the core book. So I really like that piece of art. It's fantastic. And then some of the art that we've seen from the core book right there. And there is your Cryptid manual. So I think that it's really neat. I think it's got a lot of cool cryptids in there if you want to really put those into your game. I would tell you to pick it up along with this. It just looks nice with it and it gives you more choices. It's got some cool art. And yeah, it's a fun book. So check that out. Hope you've liked this video. And thanks for subscribing, liking the video. And I'll check you next time.